All right, we're just going to give some folks a minute here to make sure everybody gets on. We have some attendees. Give everybody one more second. All right. Hi, I'm Leslie Wolf with Tradewind IN3, and welcome to the business process track of our member showcase. We have Pegasystems Incorporated that's going to be doing the next presentation. So I'm going to hide myself on the stage, and you guys can take it away. Thanks a lot, Bruce and Mark.
Thank you. Thank you, Leslie. Appreciate everyone's time here this morning. Mark, can you see my slides?
Yes.
Okay, great. We're going to go through things a little quick this morning. So 20 minutes is we're going to try and get through a bunch of information. My name is Bill Bunce. I'm an enterprise account executive here at Pegasystems, responsible for the Navy and Marine Corps. And I have with me Mark Howard, who's a senior solution consultant. I'm going to spend about 10 minutes just to give you a high level introduction to Pega, assuming that you're not familiar with Pegasystems. And then we're going to spend the last 10 minutes. Mark's going to walk us through a sample application that has been built on the Pega low code platform and show you how it was built, all in just about 20 minutes. So, first of all, Pega delivers AI powered decisioning and workflow automation on a low code platform. In and of itself, it is a software factory. It also operates very well as part of a larger software factory, something like Platform One or Black Pearl. Pega is a 38-year-old, $7 billion company based in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and we've been publicly traded on NASDAQ since 1996. So, how does Pega and our capabilities as a low code application development platform fit into the Navy and their strategies? I can only pick one to talk about, but if we talk about the Navy information superiority strategy, number one, there's a requirement to modernize our technology. There's a big move to the cloud, but more recently, not just lift and shifting applications to the cloud. We need to modernize our applications while we're moving them to the cloud. So Pega can absolutely help in doing that. Pega is of in itself, innovative as a low code platform. And then as defend, you wouldn't necessarily think of Pega in the defend space because we don't provide, zero trust capabilities ourselves. But what we do is as you move applications into the Pega environment and the Pega platform, they are as secure as they can possibly be. So we are certified at the IL4 level in our own cloud, soon to be IL5. It is a microservices based architecture that supports things like containerization and Kubernetes. So, again, highly secured environment to both modernize, innovate, and defend. The majority of Pega's revenue does come from the commercial space. You'll find that the world's biggest banks, insurance companies, pharmaceuticals, communications companies use Pega predominantly for customer success and one-to-one marketing. A couple quick examples on the commercial side. One is if you are a Sprint or Verizon customer, if you were to walk into your Verizon store, more than likely someone's going to walk up to you with a tablet in their hand and ask you your phone number. As soon as you give them their phone number on their screen, they pretty much know everything about you. And that's a Pega application that is delivering up. Maybe earlier that day you opened up a support ticket and they immediately will see that and say, listen, I see that you opened a support ticket. Is that what you're here to talk about? If you're eligible for a new phone, it will suggest possible new phones for you. Another example is Wells Fargo. So Wells Fargo has been a customer of Pega for over a decade. Wells Fargo has 5 billion customer interactions every month. Pega is at the tip of the spear of all of those customer interactions. So whether that's via the Wells Fargo app or website or in a regional bank with a live teller, as soon as you identify yourself, Pega is helping to facilitate that 360-degree view and interaction with you, the banking customer. But today we're talking about the Navy, so let's talk about some examples of where Pega is being used in public sector. The first example I'd like to use is the 2020 census. So, 2020 census was the first time that census data was captured via the internet. And so, whether you went to the census portal, certified that you represent your household and answered a series of questions and submitted your census that way, or someone came and knocked on your door with a tablet and asked those same questions. Um, that process and the application itself was all built using low code technology on the Pega platform. The next example would be the IRS. So, if you were to be audited by the IRS, your audit case file is going to be managed in Pega, and the audit process from end to end is a Pega based application. And the last example I'll use is NBIS, the National Background Investigation System, which is where your security clearance is stored, is managed from end to end as a Pega-based application, highly secure as well. Not only issuing new background investigations and new security clearances, but the continuous evaluation of your security clearance is managed in a Pega-based application. Pega is most often used in these instances. So, if you were an insurance company, you can see here 33 applications that do underwriting, or 32 that do digital claims. If you're a telecommunications company like Verizon, order fulfillment, network rollout like 5G rollout. But in public sector, we're most often used in investigations or investigative case management, like the National Background Investigation System, enterprise risk management, supply chain modernization, acquisition modernization, and workforce management and recruiting. And I won't go into much detail here, but we've been working with the Marine Corps since 2016. We have a continuous ATO on their network. We've deployed 6 applications supporting Marine Corps PNR and thousands of users across the Marine Corps. Also supporting the Air Force is predominantly Air Force research labs. They have over 30 applications that have been deployed on the Pega platform, and they have a backlog of another 60 or so, bringing it up to a plan of 100 different applications that will be built and deployed on Pega. Also supporting the U.S. Army and DMDC. Internationally, we support the UK Ministry of Defense, Australian Department of Defense, as well as the French Ministry of Defense as well. In terms of deployment options, Pega can be deployed on any cloud and in a multi-cloud environment. So today we operate in the Marine Corps on McBoss, which is a Marine Corps managed cloud. We also have Pega Cloud for Government, which I mentioned is has a provisional authority at the IL4 level. And then when you do deploy in our cloud, we provide full-on DevSec ops capabilities like Agile Studio to help facilitate the agile process, and then testing and deployment tools all within the same platform. So you don't have to go anywhere to build and deploy your applications. So what does Pega really do? Well, you're going to see that in the application that Mark presents here in a second. But the average U.S. worker, has to open 13 different applications every day and toggle back and forth 35 times a day at a minimum. So that means we've got lots of different applications here on the right hand side of the screen, and in order to execute my job, more than often, I'm toggling back and forth between all of these. Also, the business process logic is stored in those applications and is often out of sync from one application to another. And there isn't the ability to capture what the end to end process is. So in Pega, what we do is we start with with the business process itself, and we document visually what is the end-to-end business process, and then we connect it up to the data where it lives. If that data doesn't exist, then we create that data structure as needed. And then case management allows us to track individual transactions that can later be audited, and then we can add brains to it later. So that's artificial intelligence and machine learning that can be applied to the processes to help speed them up and so on. The Pega platform has AI and ML capabilities out of the box. We also allow you to leverage models that have been built in other tools like AWS or Azure and Google, and operationalize those AI models into an individual process, and then give feedback back to the data scientists as how well those models are working in production. This is my last slide, and heads up, Mark, it's coming to you. Is speed really matters. So with a low code application development platform, Gartner says we can build applications 6.4 times faster than traditional software methods like Java and .NET. So putting that into perspective, if it would normally take a year to build a new application, we can build it in Pega in 8 weeks. If you look at somebody like the Air Force who's building 100 applications, that adds up to 14 years of savings delivering applications that much faster. And so speed really, really matters, especially these days when we're in competition with China. So with that, Mark, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing and turn it over to you.
All right, great. Thanks, Bill. As I take over the screen, my name is Mark Howard. I'm a solution consultant here at Pegasystems. Um, make sure we can see my screen. Oh,
Yep, we
perfect.
got
So
you.
today we'll be going over host nation support that was created for the United States Marine Corps. It's really designed about to request equipment and other logistical things that are needed with our allied nations when we're deploying to that. That's within agreements that were made between the two countries. So if we need that support, if we're doing that mission in the country, they'll help out by supplying us with those materials, or even let us know what materials they can supply us with. So the pain points here for this process is it's very, very manual. Emails back and forth, spreadsheets back and forth. It's very difficult to track and very disjointed. For example, there's multiple approval processes that have to happen, not only on different parts of the process, but there are different people that are needed to approve different categories of supplies. So, for example, a truck and fuel; those would be two different requests going to two different approval authorities. So it was very difficult to keep everything together and know what was requested and what was also approved for. So let me jump right into the software. I only have a couple minutes here, and this is the Pega platform. This is the landing page, and what I'm going to do is first create what we call a case, which is the piece of work. It's driving to that outcome. It's the people, it's the process, it's the data, even the UI. That is all part of that work as we move forward. So it's going to guide me through. Now, when I create this request, you can see the UI's change. I see some information here on the left about this case. I see some information um, that is attached to this case. So whether it's files, documents, people that are following it. But let's just jump right in. So here we can start requesting these details. Now, the important part is what we call our situational layer cake, or also just our layered architecture. It's our patented way of being able to specialize specific parts of the process that are only needed for that specific part. So you don't have to recreate the process every single time you need to say add a new host nation. So here we'll add Norway, which has their own approval process, their own you know different pieces that have been specialized just for them. Now, I'm sure you don't want to watch me fill out all this information. So we have a little shortcut here. So we see the service, priority, the requesting unit, but we could also do whether the using unit is different. But for this, we're just going to say it's the same as the requesting unit. So all that information is automatically filled on the bottom. Now, when we move forward, we can see that water is definitely always going to be needed, so it was added as a default. But if we add another item here, we can see that when we add a category, these are those categories that have their own approval paths. Let's see, we'll do ground safety. We need some trucks for our deployment. Now, when I add total quantity, you can see that because of the category, we can do an each here and say we'll only need a daily quantity of 1. We can add mobilization start. When do we need those supplies delivered to us? But I'm going to go ahead and add. And then let's do general support items. We already did water, feeding, and we need some food for our personnel. They are hungry, so we'll put a total quantity of 500. Now, because of the category that we selected, we don't see the palette option. So that's that layered architecture in play. So that's let's see. So
And
we've
Mark,
added our
you got about 4 minutes left, so
items. Got
you might
about
want
4
to
minutes.
show them how we built this.
Gotcha. Sure. So here's that first level approver. And before I jump into how it was built, we have our breadcrumbs on top here. And I want you to take a mental snapshot. Sure, we only got through the first part of it, but when I jump into what we call App Studio, which is the citizen developer portal, you'll see something that's very, very similar. Now, because this is web-based, I can easily transition from doing work to modifying or even creating these processes. So when we go into that case type, you'll see that what was the breadcrumbs, but very high level. So we have our high level stages, and then we have the individual steps. And this is how many different processes are created on a whiteboard. They'll write out those high level milestones, and then the steps that are needed to get through. And this is our drag and drop interface to creating these processes. Very friendly, very user friendly. So really working together with, say, the administration or an IT, working together to create these hand in hand. Now, one thing I'd like to really to finish off with here is we have our processes, we have our personas, the people, the roles that are going to be part of it, but also the data and interfaces. Sure, that's not filled out right here, but you'll be able to see with this, a quick glance what each part of the application needs, what each part of the application uses. Now on the top, you'll see different colors where green are data is being entered. We have our yellow, which is the system is doing actions. We have our blue, which are approvals. And these are all components that are built into the base Pega platform. Now, what I'd like to point out is this orange or red, depending on your screen color, is one of our decision shapes. Now, right here, it's doing a decision based off some information that was entered earlier. But as more data is collected, or even using the data that you already have on this process, we can start incorporating artificial intelligence to make that decision for them. So, for example, based on whatever confidence level of the information that's coming in, we can route that work one way or the other. And even if that confidence level isn't high enough, we could feed that data back into the machine learning model to make it better. We can also integrate with machine learning models that you already have, whether they're hosted in H2O.ai, whether on AWS or Google Cloud Platform.
1 minute.
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right, no worries. Well, I appreciate your time today. I believe we'll be sending out our contact info. If you're interested in a copy of our slides or getting a deeper dive, into the application, even looking at a use case of your own, Mark and I would be happy to meet with you. Thanks, Leslie.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome, and thanks everybody for coming. All right, we'll be heading over to the next speaker. So nice to see you all, and thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, all.